thank you very much, Comrade Right Honorable Elijah Ngurare, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, for the floor and for excellent performance that now I know you are part and parcel of this area. Hashoba kwe, Eriangurare, Arijangurare. Geotashi aposhuambo, don't try. That's why I'm, itipo pimoshuambo ni nashashi, shango tashika broken. Shangurare is just too good. And I don't want inialo to eleka fun. Challenge. Our fourth president, Comrade Nangolo Mbumba. Of course, let me, with high respect, the Fimaneke Mekulu Dr. Martha Mwadinomo ya Christian Nelumbu Ohamba Yokwanyama Oshoyo Tatekulu Fremont Shumbwa Nangolo Onkwanirwa Washitunda Shandonga Ounatango Eli Hanshanga Wopedu Wokansolo Yoba Wiliki Ileo Traditional Leaders Moshilongo Shetu Eriapa Akalerwapo ku Johnny Walenga Popsa Johnny Walenga, you are still Johnny, I know. So thank you very much for that. Tatekulu Helman Ndlimani Ipumbu Onna Shipunji Womalelo Omisuluru Akalo Mostoporwa Omutuli Eshi Shokonoli Na Ehamba Adishe No Malenga Eriapa Honorable Governor and your counterpart Mekulu Ndadalerwa Ongonea Yokokunene mo Angola Vakwe tukwa finge Ndifimaneke elaka lapopiwa kovawiriki vetu Vapula kucha Peta meko otava lesha nota fimaneka tushenya vaturiapa Ndeta vapulane kucha Avane hatukashikulako Na tufimaneke na Oma dimbuluko No mafimaneko bovaninga Ongene let me stand on the protocol established. Fellow Namibians, ladies and gentlemen, there is a say that a nation without culture is not a nation. And this is believed throughout the world. Therefore, with that understanding, I thank Her Majesty, Mekulu Ondokotola Martha Mwadinomoya Christian Nerumbu, our host, for the kind invitation extended to me to attend this important cultural event and to share my views on the subject matter through what is put in the program, a keynote address. I also thank all the 8 traditional authorities of Oshikoto, Ohangwena, Oshana, and Omsati regions for having kept the culture of Omaongo Annual Festival being hosted this year here at Omedi Palace, Okwanyama Traditional Authority in Ohangwena region alive. Since this idea was born by our founding president, Dr. Comrade Sam Safishuna Nuyoma. My sincere appreciation goes to Mekulo Hamba Yokwanyama and her dedicated organizing team for having organized this event so colorful as we can see and represented by different cultural performance. I'll continue with English because the director of ceremony said there's somebody who's going to summarize. And I'm a law-binding person. I'll just do that as directed. This festival, a cherished tradition, rotating among the 8 traditional authorities in north of Namibia, holds a special place in the hearts of our community. Each year, we look forward to the gathering, celebrating our rich cultural heritage and strengthening the bonds of unity that unite us as Namibians. While the 8 traditional authorities, as mentioned above, hosted this annual festival, is a celebration which is inclusive of all citizens of Namibia. And today, the chairperson has informed us they are going to implement the initial idea of the Omaongo Festival, that it should be celebrated in all the areas of Namibia where Omaongo trees or Omaongo tree is found. And we are happy that Homba Kaundu has noted when the chair said preparation will be made so that for the first time, when this festival will move from the 8 traditional authorities, the next call will be at Homba Kaundu's palace. That's what I understood. This festival attracts people from across the country, a testimony to the shared values and aspiration that unite us as a nation. Director of Ceremonies, this year's theme, preservation of our cultural heritage and the strengthening of our unity, resonates profoundly with me, especially as we gather just 2 days before the first birthday celebration of the late Dr. Sam Safishuna Nuyoma, our founding president, father of the Namibian nation, leader for our Namibian revolution, since he departed. As the initiator of this program, and as we all know, that President Nuyoma deeply understood the importance of unity in diversity, unity of purpose, cultural preservation, and the prosperity of all Namibians. He also believes on the protection of nature with particular reference to our fauna and flora. It is against this background that the Sam Nuyoma Foundation, together with the government of the Republic of Namibia, we have agreed that in remembering and celebrating President Nuyoma's birthday on Monday, the 12th of May, we are calling on each and every Namibian, wherever you are, to plant a tree. And as we are here, it will be significant that we plant more Omaongo trees. And for us to keep account as to where Nuyoma trees are, you are kindly requested that when you plant a tree, please register with your regional councillor or your regional governor. Be very specific, the type of the tree you have planted and where you have planted it. We have to keep record. It's very significant for us to live to continue the legacy of Sam Nujoma of environmental protection. Director of ceremony, as the 5th president, I pay homage to my predecessors and successive president of Namibia. From our first president, Comrade Dr. Sam Safishuna Nujoma, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Our second president, Dr. Ifike Punyepohamba. Our third president, late Dr. Hage Genkop, may his soul rest in eternal peace. And our fourth president, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, who is present here, and we always value his presence in events like this. It is these leaders who have all laid a strong foundation for a democratic, peaceful, and developing nation. Their leadership and commitment to our shared future has shaped the Namibia we know and we love today. Director of Ceremonies, the Omaongo Annual Festival represents a spirit of our ancestors, a testimony to endure strength and resilience of our people. Those who spoke before me, they elaborated. It is a platform for us to honor our tradition, share our stories, and reaffirm our commitments to the preservation of our cultural heritage for future generations. The festival serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of unity, cooperation, and respect within our communities and across the nation. In the spirit of this year's theme, I'm particularly eager to reflect on the important role each one of us present here and those at home plays in the maintaining our cultural identity. It is through the continued practice and transition of our customs, language, art, and tradition that we ensure the continuity of our rich heritage as a nation. It is also through our culture, unity, respect, and collaboration that we can effectively navigate the challenges of modern lives while preserving the values that have sustained us for centuries. As a nation, we must see our culture as a thread that ties us together and avoid any temptation to use our culture and tradition to divide us. Our culture, our rich culture, should really put us together. Our diverse culture should be seen as a stream whereby when it is running, everything is taken and then found itself at the end of the stream united. And that is how we see our culture as a nation. And that's why for the next 5 years, part of our theme is unity in diversity. Unity in the diversity. We recognize our diversity. It must be our strength, but that strength must always be the one guiding us. Director of Ceremonies, traditionally Omaongo season has a special meaning. Some were already mentioned. I will only emphasize it's a period of happiness, a peaceful period, a period to appreciate Mother Nature for the gift of good harvest and, of course, of different privilege that we found. We know that during Omaongo, besides what has been mentioned here already, that people are not allowed to carry any weapon. In fact, even traditional courts are all suspended during Omaongo Festival. It's a time of happiness and a time of peace. And most people drink it, representing other privilege such as Ombike, Omalodu, and the Oshikundu. That's why you hear in their happiness, they can walk any time of the day and the night. Sometimes even singing very loud. Gongola naikuke tunoikundu. Hasho. Aikani tanya kulangene. Gongola naikuke tunoikundu. Gongola naikuke tunoikundu. So this is telling you that during that time, that's the popular drink because everybody is happy. Therefore, as we celebrate our heritage and unity, we must also confront the challenges that are threatening the fibers of our society, Director of Ceremonies, and fellow Namibians. Among these challenges are domestic violence and violence against women and children. And this is where, as a government, we are calling on our traditional authority to work with us in fighting domestic violence. Fighting violence against women and children. Particularly, these are happening in our communities and perpetuated by the people under us. Of recently, we have woken up to a very disturbing behaviors when some of our individuals resulted in barbaric killing of our innocent children in Okahanja and elsewhere in our country. Such acts of violence are a destructive to everything we stand for as a nation. and they must be fought by all of us. As your president, I'm appealing to the perpetrators and say to them, you are our children. Come out and hand yourself to law enforcement agency, not for you to be punished, but for you to be assisted so that you become useful members of our society. We need one another, and we can only do that when those who need support, those who need assistance, you come out. And in that way, we will create a peaceful Namibia for all our citizens as well as our visitors. To all of us, we must not allow criminals to take away our freedom of movement at any time of the day. Lawlessness is unacceptable, and the security of our citizens is paramount importance. I am imploring all communities to work with the Namibian police to root out criminalities from our society. The fight against crime is a collective responsibility, and we must all work together to ensure that the safety and the well-being of every Namibian, especially of our children, is secured. We must go back to our African value system and ethics of caring one another, with the understanding that a child is raised by the whole community he or she lives in. To our traditional authorities gathered here today and across our nation and all Namibians, I appeal for your support for our 8th administration in its efforts to address the pressing issues facing our community. We are committed as a government and a nation to tackle the unemployment rates, particularly among our youth, through initiatives like sports development and professionalization in our country, minor resource beneficiation, and value addition to our natural resources, including agricultural products. Our goal is to keep jobs in Namibia, not to export them. We know very well to achieve this objective, we need the necessary skill. And it's against this background that our government has decided to allow a Namibian child not to be denied education from pre-primary up to the tertiary education. Hence, our abolishment of tuition fees as from next year. And we are asking the parents as well as the Namibian child to take this opportunity seriously, for us to take our studies serious in order for us to be the masters of our destination. Director of Ceremonies, yesterday I paid a courteous visit to the Republic of Angola, where I had a very fruitful discussion with His Excellency Manuel Laurentia, the President of the Republic of Angola. I'm happy that our governor from Kunene is here to join us, because as we know the history between Namibia and Angola. No one can dispute it. And that's why in Namibia, and I know both in Angola, we say and we sing, Pokatika Namibia, na Angola ito wanapo, opene udafa, nagirimende la kulam. That is not just an ordinary talk. We mean what we are saying. That between Namibia and Angola, no one can be there. No one can separate us. There is that agreement which is so strong. Therefore, among others, we have agreed to strengthen cooperation in the areas of trade and investment with the purpose of growing our economies and create jobs for our people with special attention to the youth. Because we recognized that in both countries, unemployment is high, particularly among the youth. I therefore call on Namibian business people to take advantage of the opportunities and to look for partnership with their Angolan counterparts. Namibians will recall, in 2022, I led a business delegation to Angola, where we facilitated an agreement of cooperation between the Namibian Chamber of Commerce and the Angolan Chamber of Commerce. I would really like to revitalize that agreement so that you continue to meet and discover one another. Namibia has now discovered oil and gas, and Angola has been there since their independence almost 50 years ago. And during that process, they have gained experience which we can use as a country. For example, currently Angola has developed to the extent that most, if not all, companies that are exploring oil and gas in Angola, they are served by the Angolan company, which is 99.9% employs Angolans. And they have informed me they have developed this capacity in the last 30, 40 years. And what they did is to send their people out, for them to learn in the process, attach them to different companies in the world that are involved in oil and gas, and bring them back to do the work. I'm underlining this because I remember one time when I was a Minister of International Relations, I was addressing the university students at the graduation, and I called on them to take advantage of Namibia's cooperation with different countries and organizations, and to say, go out to there, look for employment in order to gain the necessary skill. The reaction was not good. It was, you are failing to give us jobs, now you want to send us out to site. I hope young people we have outgrown that. And you can really use that opportunity where we have friendship. As long as you go there with a purpose, to gain knowledge, to gain experience, to come back home and reinvest it in our countries. Director of Ceremonies, I'm also asking the nation to join our administration in our program of housing and land delivery in order to elevate poverty, addressing rural-urban migration, and implementing other vital programs as outlined in the SWAPO Party Election Manifesto and its implementation plan, which has become the government policy for the next 5 years. I say I'll talk about this election manifesto because the day you have voted the SWAPO members, non-SWAPO members, you have voted for this manifesto. It has now become your manifesto, and you need to know it so that together we can implement it. Our focus is to reduce unemployment by the end of the 5 years term, as we believe that by creating jobs, we are fighting poverty. Director of Ceremonies, as an elected government entrusted with the management of our national development program, we are calling on all sectors of government and national regional council and local authorities to be on board and lend full support to the initiatives that ensure tangible improvement in the quality of life of all Namibians. We should avoid being self-centered, but we must think and act broadly. Once again, I want to thank our old age social grant beneficiaries for their understanding and to assure them that they are not forgotten, as the Right Honorable Prime Minister has just mentioned. Furthermore, I urge our traditional authority to maintain our tradition. You are the custodian of our tradition. And that's why our Constitution recognized our traditional authority and formed the Council of Traditional Leaders. At the beginning, I mentioned a nation without culture is not a nation. Maybe some of the problem we are facing in this Namibia is because we are eroding our culture. Our cultures, we have our laws, we have our norms. But really, as a national leader, and now as your president, and a person who really believes in the culture, I feel so sad when I see that whenever a vacancy occurs in our traditional authority, we forget our tradition and subject ourselves to foreign cultures through these conventional laws. To me, really, that is a serious thing. Where are we taking our culture? I'm really appealing that let us try to understand deep our culture and let it guide us. Otherwise, if we go like this, 20 years, 30 years to come, our generation will not know that we have culture in this country. And that is going to be a disaster. Director of Ceremonies, I also ask our traditional leaders to support us in our vision of zero tolerance for corruption. Citizens, investors, and visitors alike must not be subjected to additional payment for services rendered by public servants or any other service provided in this country. I must say corruption can only be addressed if each and every Namibian, you take an inner commitment and say, I am not going to be involved in this evil called the corruption. And if we do that, I'm telling you, if we just do that, all this problem we are facing, they are going to be over. Because our resources will be used to the benefit of everybody. And even those who feel they are benefiting now, they will realize they were fooling themselves. Because everybody will live free, everybody will live happy, not expecting something strange to happen to you. Again, the victims must be ready to talk and give evidence. All members of the cabinet, from the vice president, the prime minister sitting here, the deputy prime minister, and all ministers are under clear directives to listen to our people and help them timelessly and with honesty. Because nowadays you hear people saying, even if I go there, there will be no assistance. Not this team, Not this team that I'm having. They must listen and see who's telling the truth, who's not telling the truth. Because truth is the only thing that can bring prosperity to our country. We have all taken an oath to defend and protect our Constitution and the laws of the Republic of Namibia. And I have no doubt that corruption has no place in our Constitution, nor in the laws of the land. Director of Ceremonies, we are gathered here today, and let us take a moment to appreciate the good rains received from the heavens this year. These rains promise good harvests and grazing in many parts of the country. A blessing for our community. Of course, I acknowledge that the heavy rains has also caused flooding, affecting some of our citizens and their livelihood. And we will see as a nation how we can assist them. Because their homes, their houses, and crop fields have been also affected. And as we speak, some of our fellow citizens are still in relocation centers in this part of the country. I applaud and appreciate the good behavior of them because they really cooperated with the authority who have made it possible for them to be taken care of. Director of Ceremonies, moving forward, I appeal to our traditional authorities and all community leaders to stop our citizens from settling or constructing their houses in flood-prone areas and find better places for those who settled in water runway areas to prevent similar events to be occurring in the future. Director of Ceremonies, over the years, we have been paying much emphasis on the girl child in as far as the care and protection is concerned when it comes to our laws and our programs for the empowerment of our children. I'm very happy to see that of late, new programs of the boy child is emerging. And I want all of us, men and women, to support the programs focusing on the boy child. It does not help us to develop the girl child and leave out the boy child. You are seeing that the first gentleman is absent here today. As we are here, he's addressing or he's engaging over 300 boys and young men at an event in Windhoek in order for us to bring our young people to the party. Director of ceremony, as I conclude, I wish everyone present here to enjoy the 2025 Omaongo Festival at the Omedi Palace as our traditional and norms. I implore all participants that we leave this festival with renewed sense of purpose and a shared commitment to build a better Namibia. Let us all work in harmony with one heart and one mind for Namibia to prosperity. And what should be always at the forefront? Quality service delivery at all times. Once again, me kulon doktola Martha Mwadino Moya Christian Nelumbu ohambayo ba kwa nyama ne hamba dishediri apa otapandula unene eshimwe tupo mito opo tu haleni nena shashonde itabela kucha ifaneri nandola jakumekulu owe linene tukalekapa ola jame hundafana de nyamushe nongashina na mwetulombwela pa kucha otashipikile no shishani ne eshindapewa panena okuningo petrona yo Omaongo Festival medula tadishikula ohandipula mushe muyambidi denge moshisha nyosho ndapewa. Long life the Republic of Namibia, and thank you for your kind attention.